Revenge feels powerful in the beginning. That's what makes it dangerous, because when someone hurts us, betrays us, humiliates us, or destroys something we deeply cared about, there is a part of us that immediately wants balance restored. A part of us that whispers, they shouldn't get away with this. And honestly, almost every human being understands that feeling. But here's the terrifying truth about revenge. Most revenge is not really about justice. It's about wounded ego. It's about emotional pain. It's about the human mind struggling to accept a reality it never wanted to face. And once you understand that, you begin to see revenge differently. The Bible gives one of the most emotional examples of this through the life of Saul and David. At first, Saul loved David. David was loyal, humble, obedient. He fought for Israel, risked his life for the kingdom. And after David defeated Goliath, the people celebrated him everywhere. Women sang songs in the streets. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Now pause for a moment, because that single sentence wounded Saul deeply, not physically, emotionally. Why? Because Saul had an expectation. He expected to remain the most honored man in Israel. He expected to stay unmatched. He expected the people's admiration to remain centered on him. But reality shifted, and Saul could not emotionally handle it. That pain slowly transformed into jealousy. Then jealousy transformed into hatred, and hatred eventually transformed into obsession. This is how revenge often begins, not with violence, but with wounded expectations. Saul became consumed by the need to regain control emotionally. He hunted David across mountains and wilderness for years. Imagine that, a king with power, armies, wealth, and authority, mentally consumed by one man. That's what revenge does to people. It chains them emotionally to the very thing that hurt them. And the scary part is that revenge usually disguises itself as righteousness. People convince themselves, I'm justified. They deserve this. I need to make things even. But underneath all of it is usually something much deeper. Pain, humiliation, rejected expectations, and wounded pride. Because when reality doesn't align with what we expected, the human ego struggles. We expect loyalty and get betrayal. We expect respect and get dishonor. We expect love and get rejection. We expect fairness, and life suddenly becomes unfair. And instead of processing the pain honestly, many people try to regain emotional control through revenge. But revenge rarely heals people. It usually consumes them. Look at Saul. The more he chased David, the more unstable he became internally. His peace disappeared. His clarity disappeared. His joy disappeared. Revenge slowly turned a king into a prisoner of his own emotions. And honestly, this still happens today. Some people spend years trying to emotionally punish someone who hurt them. An ex-lover, a former friend, a family member, a rival. Sometimes people don't even want healing anymore. They just want the other person to suffer too. But here's the problem. When revenge becomes your mission, the person who hurt you still controls your emotions. That's not power, that's captivity. Real strength is not found in retaliation, it's found in emotional control. And one of the most powerful moments in this entire biblical story happens later when David has the chance to kill Saul. Think about that. The man who hunted him, humiliated him, tried repeatedly to destroy his life, was suddenly vulnerable, and David could have ended everything in one moment. His men even encouraged him to do it. This was the perfect revenge opportunity, the kind most people dream about. But David refused. Why? Because David understood something deeper. A wounded ego seeks revenge, but wisdom seeks restraint. David realized that becoming consumed by revenge would slowly turn him into the very thing he hated. And honestly, that's one of the darkest things about revenge. The longer people feed it, the more it reshapes their character. Eventually, revenge stops being something they do. It becomes who they are. Now, this doesn't mean pain isn't real. Some wounds cut deeply. Some betrayals change people forever. Some injustices are devastating. But emotional maturity is not pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's learning not to let pain control your identity. Because revenge often feels powerful in the moment, but most of the time it is simply the human ego struggling to accept reality, struggling to accept I was hurt, I lost, I was betrayed, I couldn't control what happened, and that acceptance is difficult, painful even, but maturity begins when a person stops asking, how do I hurt them back, and starts asking, how do I heal without becoming bitter? Because in the end, revenge rarely restores peace. It usually multiplies destruction. And maybe that's why some of the strongest people are not the ones who get even, but the ones disciplined enough to let go. So this is the chain reaction that takes place when we want a revenge. 1. Expectation. We expect reality, people or situations to go a certain way. 2. Expectation violated. Reality does not align with what we believed, wanted, or emotionally depended on. 3. Emotional pain. The violation creates feelings like hurt, rejection, humiliation, betrayal, or even disappointment. 4. Loss of control. The mind feels unstable because reality no longer matches our internal sense of certainty or control. 5. Ego reaction. The ego struggles to accept the pain and seeks to restore emotional balance or dominance. 6. Revenge. Revenge appears as an attempt to regain control, punish the source of pain, or emotionally correct reality.